Your sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right, welcome into the Friday edition of the JP Peterson Show. Fresh back from camp, still sweating, but I put on a new shirt for you today, Nick, so I don't smell as much. See? I didn't want you to go to HR today and complain again. You know how that goes. Yes, never have I seen so many cameras trained on a backup center as it was with Robert Hainsey today. And I guess Brady's going to boycott Robert Hainsey until he learns the baby powder and the pants protocol, and then maybe he'll come out. So no Brady today for Nick Hainsey, for Robert Hainsey.
I saw your tweet today, and you have to preface it's a joke on Twitter because some people could run wild with those type of things.
Oh,
nowadays.
You dumbass, Brady! You think Brady's sulking over that? No, it's a veteran day off for Brady and Evans, Levante David, and a few more. So all good, folks. But it is kind of weird not seeing Brady out there. I there's a little shock that goes through the system when you're like, "Where's Brady? Where's Brady? Oh my God, what's going on?" I mean, because you want to talk about starting a complete panic among Buccaneer Nation. Anyway, welcome into the show. We're going to get into training camp today as it continues out there. Of course, I got to run back and do the show here. But we'll keep you updated on what's going on there. We'll bring you some live sound as well. Couple observations out there. One of the things I was actually watching, because they do a lot of special teams early, the sound that what's that, his name, Connemara, the new punter, that comes off of his foot when he punched that football, and I'm talking some serious hang time. This dude has got a freaking howitzer for a leg. My Lord, he did drop a snap today. We'll work with that. But yeah, wow. I'm very excited about the punter. One of those days where you watch a few things and pick up a few things. So we'll get into that as we go through the show. The Rays, wow. Not only was that an ugly loss yesterday, but it was embarrassing on so many levels. You watch any of that clown show yesterday?
Thankfully, I was golfing.
Yeah, that's right.
Through most of it, and one of my buddies was watching it in the other cart on his phone because we're diehards.
Yeah, of course.
And when he told me, he's like, "You're never going to believe what Josh Lowe just did."
And it happens, but it just in that particular situation, it was a little bizarre as you take one off the face in a 1-0 game, and suddenly it's 3-0. What was really interesting about that was likely Trey Mancini's last at bat at Camden Yards before he gets traded at the deadline. They go off on a road trip.
Yeah, well,
the baseball gods just say, you know what, we're going to make you run all the way around the bases for the first time in your life. And give him an inside the park home run off the face of Josh Lowe, who's wearing sunglasses on his hat instead of on his eyes.
Yep.
So, I'm no ophthalmologist once again, but I'm just going to say, what are we doing?
I don't know, but it's hard to explain. But the Rays right now are a difficult watch offensively. Which is probably underselling it.
Yeah.
We gave you the lineup right before we got off the air yesterday, and you look at it and you go, all right, they're not going to have much success today.
But they were going. What was with the pitcher, Jordan Lyles?
With a
4.85 ERA.
Yeah, and the Rays had
them down.
The Rays had, I think, 4 hits, 5 hits. 4 hits total. 2 of them were infield hits in the first inning.
Yeah. Yeah, they weren't facing Max Scherzer.
No.
Or Randy Johnson in his prime.
No.
My God, that's so bad. It's brutal.
You talk about killing momentum after they went into the All-Star break with so much of it. It's all undone now.
Yeah.
It's all undone. You've won, what are you, 2-6 coming out of the break here? Or what, 2-7 coming out of the break?
2-5.
2-5 coming out of there. You go.
Yeah.
Against the Royals and the Orioles.
Bad baseball. I mean, they're just and as we said, they were not facing, with the exception, I think, of one starter. They haven't faced a starter since they came back with the ERA under 4. I think 1.
Yeah.
Most of them in the 5s to 6 range, and they still can't score runs.
Nope.
49 times this year, they've scored 3 runs or less out of 80 some games. Like almost, I think it's almost half. They've scored 3 runs or less. That's just brutal. That's not going to get it done. And, the conspiracy theorists are out there. Everybody is like, yeah, this is major league. You look at some of these lineups, some of the moves that they're making and not making, and you're just like, what are we doing? what are we doing? Are we really trying to sabotage things before the break so there's no pressure for Stu to go out and spend any money?
My favorite one is it's like you're down 2-1 in the series to the Orioles, right? And you need to win these games. You're trying to just get a split at this point. And I guess it was a good time to have Randy Arozarena and who was it, Yandy Diaz yesterday on the bench.
Yeah,
I guess it was a good time to have those two guys on the bench in a game where you're trying to get a split in a series. And Randy Arozarena, noted Oriole killer, as well.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
Can't explain it.
Literally, if you look at all the moves this week, you would say this team's tanking. This team's tanking. How would you don't bring Poche in then with McClanahan, ball game. You don't bring Poche again the next. They tried to lose the one they won.
Yep.
And they Randy Arozarena would let them do it. So you know what happens when you get a game-winning hit and you're trying to tank? You get benched the next day. That's what happens to you. Don't be hitting game-winning doubles in the 10th inning, my friend. Don't be doing it. Don't you see what we're doing here? We're trying to lose games. You're going out there hitting doubles off the wall in extra innings. What are you thinking?
You're far into the conspiracy there. Far into it.
It's just fun.
No coincidence. The Rays are not in the Final Four for Juan Soto. That dream is over.
Oh, well, shocking development.
Shocking development. The Rays are not.
The Rays aren't going to spend the money to go to pay him and then give up Rayleigh. Oh my God, that's so off brand for them. No. No, that's where we're getting to. I got an idea. Remember the guy that really sucked last night and gave up the game winner? Let's put him in again in a crucial situation. Oh, awesome. Colin Poche, good job, bro. Oh, is he still with the team, by the way?
Yeah, I told you he's been one of the better relievers they have this year. I mean, it's like I can't really. It's
hilarious.
Like, I know we're kind of going after Kevin Cash a little bit, but I feel like we're two of the bigger defenders of Kevin Cash.
Oh, I don't necessarily think this is coming from Kevin Cash.
My thing is, it's like, again, it's what do you want? Like, what do we? I don't understand why the guys, like I've said, there's 4 guys in this lineup who I can count on a game to bang basis.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I'm just not a fan of just organized rest days, especially when we just came off a week of rest with these guys.
Crazy.
It's just crazy to me that we've had these guys been sitting like 2 of the last 7 games. I don't understand it at all. That's the one thing I don't get. But in regards to the rest of the lineup, I mean, look what he's working with, for crying out loud.
I know.
I mean, there's not much he can really do. I mean, we've been telling you that Jonathan Aranda is a better hitter than probably everybody 5 to 9 in that lineup.
And everybody knows it.
Everybody and their mother knows it. Yeah. But for whatever reason, he's still not here. So,
well, we're tanking before the trade deadline. Get it right, bro. Know what the strategy is and execute.
I think they've blown their chance to even go after anybody. I really do. Like,
that was the purpose.
We'll see what happens this series now with the Guardians, which is huge, by the way. This is a huge series. If they drop a series to the Guardians, I'm at the point where I don't need them to go spend anything. I don't need to.
Well, would you look at the injured list and see who's coming back? You would want to go out and add something.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying give up the farm for a rental. That's not what I'm saying. But if you still have money you can spend. So, right. Didn't we hear that? Well, at the debt, when they didn't get any of the guys for the beginning of the season, what did they say? Well, we'll have money at the deadline so we can go get some guys. So we'll have some guys. And I said, what? Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. And here we go. Oh, not in the finals for Juan Soto. They're not going to pick up anybody with significant salary. No way. And they'll say, well, with all the injuries, it would be a waste, blah, 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 blah. Whatever. They weren't going to do it anyway. All right. We'll get back to the Rays a little bit later on because I'm going to play the post game from Kevin Cash, who got a little salty. And I'm here for it, by the way. I'm here for it. All right. So back to the Bucs out at camp this morning. And all eyes on Robert Hainsey, number 70 in your playbook. Look, this guy's going to be, I think he's going to be a good young player. He's a 3rd round pick. He's played very well at Notre Dame. Smart guy. Can he handle the job at center? Of course he can. He can grow into a good center. This is the last year of Tom Brady. Well, that's certainly the last year that Brady's going to be a Buccaneer. There is no option here. You got to go get JC Tretter. And frankly, I don't care what it costs. But JP, you got Ryan Jensen under contract for another 2 years. Yeah, I know. And when Ryan Jensen comes back, you trade him. There's a big market out there for centers, or you trade Tretter. It doesn't matter. You can trade him, and
you just bring in Tretter on a 1-year deal,
right? You could do that too. But if he wants more, I don't care. This is not an option to go with a guy who's never taken a snap in a game or delivered a snap in a game in Brady's last year at the center position. Folks, this is not an option. I'm sorry. It's not. Unless you get Treader and Hainsey goes down and then look, and there's nobody else out there that's you veteran centers. They don't grow on trees. To have this guy out there that was ranked number 5 by PFF last year and is 31 years old in JC Treader. And for I've seen no reports that he's injured in any way. This is a no-brainer. It's a godsend that the guy's out there. Go get him. And I expect Jason Light to do it. And unless the guy's, holding out for $10 million a year or some ridiculous price, you make the deal. I'm not even sure, what the ceiling is on this deal, to be honest with you. You redo contracts, you get the guy in here. This is Brady, and you're going to have 2 new guards flanking him. And I know Aaron Stenny will probably start there, and he's got experience. He's not a rookie. He played well in the playoffs during the Super Bowl run. So I'm okay with him. And, I think the right guard situation will work itself out with Gadecki and Hainsey could be that guy that starts there at right guard. I'm sorry. No, Shaq Mason is starting at right guard, but left guard is going to be Stenny. Yeah, Stenny. So you got Shaq Mason, you've got backs up. Hainsey can back him up. All three positions. You're fine. But you cannot go into this season with a guy that's never done it before.
Well, a couple points there, and I saw because I threw out J.C. Treader's name yesterday just based off of kind of thinking I think that guy's still unsigned because I just didn't remember him signing with anybody, and that was fact. I learned that right after the show, and so everybody naturally went to J.C. Treader because the credentials of him are pretty damn good, and you just rattled off some of them. And I was kind of doing some research on him and kind of relying on some people who are really into like X's and O's, and the things that we don't really get into much is literally the X's and O's of it, especially on the line.
Right. And
I came across some interesting things. I found out that, Cleveland was more of a like wide gap type of offensive line in the sense where the Bucs are more of a gap scheme type thing. And again, I'm not an aficionado on these type of things. Basically, I'm just throwing it out there because he's never played in, I guess, a scheme that the Bucs run right now. My feeling on that is a good player is going to adapt, right?
Yeah,
that's the way I look at it as well.
Absolutely.
The other point that I was going to make, and I saw you were going back and forth with, I think it was J.C. Allen.
Yeah.
And he had some really good points, and Greg Allman also said the same thing, is Brady's history of winning Super Bowls with the centers. I mean, this is the list right here. Dan Coppin, the first 2, Brian Stork, who you remember from FSU.
Yeah.
David
good
Andrews,
player, by the way.
David Andrews in 2016.
Very good player.
Dan Connolly, Ryan Wendell, and Ted Karras. Those are the centers that he's won Super Bowls with. And what those guys have in common is none of them were highly drafted, and a lot of them won Super Bowls in their first and second years in the NFL as Brady's center.
Mm-hmm.
And the theory there is Robert Hainsey was a 3rd-round pick, so he was a more heralded guy than all these guys coming out of college. And so Brady's always made it work with these guys, right? So there is that side to it as well. I think where we're coming from.
All right. First of all, I get it. Okay. Who are the guys around him? What's the scheme are they running? There's so much that goes into that. If you got 2 Pro Bowl guards like Logan Mankins, and I have to go through that, and I forget who the other guy was on the other side. When you have you look at an offensive line as a whole, not one guy. You can go do all the research you want. So what you're telling me is Brady's not been well protected for his career? Is that what you're saying?
That's not what it's saying at all.
No, well,
it's just basically saying that he's done it with centers who were in their first or second years and were not nearly as highly drafted.
What was the Patriot defense like that year? What were the weapons that he was wearing? Who's the coach of that particular team? I mean, you go and see, and those are great points. All that fantastic. All, but you got to look at specifically what this situation is. You have an option here. Was J.C. Treader an option for them at those particular, or a highly rated center that was out there as a free agent that they could have gone and gotten instead of those guys? Because my guess is if there was an option, they probably would have done it. There's a clear option here, and you have no idea who Robert Hainsey is as a center. He didn't play center in college. He was a tackle. You have no idea what this guy can do, but you're going to put the fate of Tom Brady's last season between this guy's legs? That sounded good. You have an option. Why would you not take the option?
Well,
It makes no sense.
What I was going to get into is the flip side of this, and we said this yesterday.
I mean, if J.C. Treader signs someplace else, there's no other options, and you got to go with Hainsey. Go with Hainsey.
There is other options.
Yeah.
There's other veteran options there, like a Matt Paredes, who's been with Denver and Carolina. We saw him in Carolina. He's a solid He's a solid veteran, 32, so a year older than Treader and Jensen, I believe. There. So I mean, there's other. And he's obviously going to be probably cheaper. I think everybody's going to be cheap at this point, but he'd be cheaper than J.C. Treader, I'd probably say. So, I mean, there's other options out there. But
first of all, who cares about cheaper at this point? We are so all in down the line on voidable years. When Brady leaves, folks, it's if you're trying to make sure that we'll be okay when Brady leaves, that train has left the station.
Sorry, let me take my raise cap off since we were just talking about the deadline. Sorry. I'm always looking at cost. Anyway, but on the flip side of it, we said this yesterday. Naturally, you would say, okay, we drafted this guy in the 3rd round. It's his 2nd year. He went to Notre Dame, which is known for producing some big, mean offensive linemen who usually translate well to the NFL.
Absolutely.
The reason why I think we've been banging the drum for J.C. Treader, and a lot of people are, is this situation is so unique that every single position the Bucs have a grown-up at.
Right.
And somebody who's been there, done that, can do it, step right in, and you want to have no doubt at the important positions. Right. And I think that's what Jason Licht has kind of set himself out to do, and he's done a great job with it. The center position cannot be overlooked. It's very important. I think it's the 2nd most important position on the offensive line. I'll argue it's the most important in this offensive line because that's where Brady hates pressure the most, is coming up through gap. And we already touched on the fact that you're already going to have at right guard or either left guard Aaron Stinney or Luke Gadecki, who haven't had much playing time in the NFL. So you're already going to have a bit of a question mark there going into that. So do you really want to slide a center who hasn't really played much in the NFL yet next to that guy?
Never.
He played a few games at the end of last year, but I think a lot of the tape from I believe it was like garbage time against Carolina in the end of the year.
And did he play at center?
I believe he did play at center, maybe. Or he might have played right guard. I'm not entirely positive.
No, he's not taking any meaningful snaps as a center in the National Football League, which, and again, if you're arguing that can he do the job, I think he might be able to do the job. But again, if you have an option and you're all in for this season, why would you go with Hainsey over Treader?
Jason likes DNA
to save money.
Jason likes DNA, and what he's done track record tells me that he's already on the phone looking at options.
Absolutely.
And of course, they have to see what they have in Robert Hainsey. Of course, now in camp, I mean, his camp now is going to be really crucial. And in preseason, all that stuff is very crucial for Robert Hainsey now and Nick Leverett, who, Jason Licht said they like. We saw him a little bit last year in that Indianapolis game, and I was scared for Brady's life a little bit in that one, if you recall. But I'm sure he's a better player. But again, the unknown is a scary place to be at.
Yeah.
At that position.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but if and it's going to come down to this at some points when it's 3rd and 7 and you need protection and Aaron Donald's on the other side of the line. And would you rather have J.C. Treader or Robert Hainsey snapping that ball, picking up that blitz, trying to figure out where the blitz is coming from? It's not just about snapping the football. It's not just about being able to hold the point of attack. It's so much more than that. It's more the cerebral part of the game. And that's what Ryan Jensen excels at, recognizing where blitz are coming from, the communication with the other players, getting those line calls. That's as crucial as anything. And would you rather have a veteran there who's been through the wars and done it, or a guy that's never done it? I mean, is this even a question? I can't even believe we're debating this. If there wasn't an option, or you're saying, this guy, it doesn't even matter because our cap is so blown out for the next couple, at least the next year. Of course, the cap's going to go up, so we'll be able to manage it. But after this year, it's complete rebuild. It's complete rebuild. So what are we doing? This is not even, I can't even believe people are debating this. If you can get the guy, get the guy. If you get outbid by somebody, which evidently there's not a lot of bidders out there because he's still on the street. And then for a guy like Treader, he's never won a ring. Why would you don't want to come snap the ball to Tom Brady? Listen, if you're saying to me that the Bucs are going, oh, no, we're good with Hainsey when we can have J.C. Treader, I say you're out of your mind. I say you're out of your mind. It's like you said, it's not in Jason Licht's DNA. Of course they're going to go try to get the guy. And why wouldn't he come? I'm surprised he's not here already, to be quite honest. What are you doing, Jason Licht? Get on the phone.
I don't know, but we have a commenter here, Jordan. Forgive me if I'm wrong, Gamillan, that commented here, and he said, "Always sign the best man available." I believe he's being blacklisted as the players' union president, according to my buddy who is a Browns fan. And he also
that's
said,
real.
He said here he's also catching a lot of flack due to his mentality of protecting players. Treader directs his fellow offensive players to not practice and do the bare minimum even throughout the preseason. And I was going to point that out. I knew that he was the NFLPA president. So, I mean, that obviously would check out. Of course, they're going to protect the players.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how that equates to being blackballed. You know, I don't know if you would have something more on that.
Yeah.
How that role really works.
Ask Mark Royals about that. He was the player rep when Gruden came in, and the first move Gruden did was cut him.
Oh.
And so they could get more practices and don't have some experienced player rep that knows how to file grievances and all that stuff in the camp. Yeah. So that's a real thing. This is thing that people, but again, situationally, let's look at this. Okay. And I get all that. And those are excellent points, by the way. Who's the leader of this team?
Tom Brady.
Yeah. Okay. So if Brady, you don't think Brady's going to have a conversation with him and say, look, JC, look, I'm with you on the player protection stuff, and I'm with you on that. Can we maybe massage that a little bit and not be, Antifa level protesting here, and maybe just back it down a little bit? No Molotov cocktails, just maybe a nice peaceful protest here and there for what you need to get done. Come on.
So you're telling me that J.C. Treader would have protested the Aryan slap on Andrew Adams' helmet last year?
Probably would have been an issue, and rightfully so, to be quite honest. Okay, that's something that's completely unneeded. And Bruce would be the first to tell you. Well, he wasn't very remorseful, but whatever. Yeah, and these are all excellent things.
It's a good point though, because I never really thought about that one.
I know when I heard that, I was like, oh well, that's why he's still out there, and it's a real thing. It shouldn't be. And first and foremost, it shouldn't be a thing.
No.
And for the Buccaneers, as a progressive, as an organization as they are, they certainly recognize players' rights, and I think they've been one of the better teams in that area, if I'm not totally mistaken. So I don't, with the exception of maybe that Bruce Arians moment. Yeah, I understand it. But in this particular situation with Brady as the leader of the team and all these veterans, I don't think those are going to be issues. I don't think they're going to be issues. So excellent point, but that should not be an issue in this situation because of Brady, his last year, etc. I don't think that I think Brady would be able to control that. And listen, and if J.C. Treader's one of those guys that you call him up and Brady's like, yeah, man, and I know you're the player association president. We completely respect that, and we're going to do a good job, and you can help in that area. This will be a win-win for everybody. That's the way that's going to be approached in my mind. And J.C. Treader is going to be able to obviously the credibility with Brady is unmatched. So you're going to believe him, and you've got veterans on that offensive line. Shaq Mason, even though he's new to us, is not new to the league. He's been around. This Donovan Smith, look, I'm sure that's something that other teams consider, but I don't think it's something that the Bucs are considering.
Probably not, no. But we'll play. This was Jason like yesterday, and he was asked about Robert Hainsey and kind of filled us in on what they believe that he can bring to this team here.
We took Robert in the third round for a reason because we saw a lot of potential in him. We saw potential in him as a center first, potentially playing guard. He played right tackle at Notre Dame as well. We've liked everything, the progression of Robert since we drafted him, since he came into the offseason last year, and we have faith in him. We also have a lot of faith in Nick Leverett playing center as well. So those two will get in there, and they'll compete for the time being until we find out more about Jensen.
Yeah, look, he drafted his player in the third round. He's not going to shit on him. From all accounts, yeah, this guy's ready to play, and he can play at left guard. But he and Aaron Stinney can have a great competition there. But you bring in J.C. Treader if you can make the deal work. There's no question about it. And I think you go renegotiate and redo a couple of deals to free up the money to get it done. it's a priority. It's one of the most, as you said, one of the most important positions out there. And there's such a difference between having a veteran center who's seen all the blitzes and seen, all the different, different disguised blitzes. I mean, that is an art. That is a talent. Who was it that I talked to? Joe Hawley. I had a conversation with Joe Hawley, who played center for the Bucs and the Falcons. And I did like kind of a long form interview with him. And we really got into the nuances of what a center does, like between plays. And gosh, I wish I had that piece of audio right now. So I'll kind of just, the best I can recreate it. He's like, all right, first thing I'm doing after a play is over is looking to the other sideline and see what package they have coming in. So he's immediately after the play looking to the other sideline and seeing which personnel package the defense is bringing in. Okay, that's going to tell him from his film study what are the likely blitzes that are coming and where they're coming from. Okay, so now he's back in the huddle. This is off. This is right after. This is 5 seconds after getting your D knocked in the dirt by Aaron Donald or whoever, right? You get up, you look to the sideline. Now you're back in the huddle. You're getting the play as you take the mud out of your eyes and kind of catch your breath. And you're getting the play. Okay, now you're going through the permutations of the play that you are now going to, and what are the checks? I got to remember what are the alerts on this particular play. So now you're coming back to the line and you're spying your keys. Now, where is the strong safety? Where is this backer? This person package usually come from here. So now you're getting over the ball. And now you're looking across as you're listening to the snap count. Now you're looking at the defense to get the tells of certain players, how they blitz and where they come from. You're looking at, are you kidding me? And you're going to throw a guy in there who's never done this before in a live NFL game, as opposed to getting a guy who's done it for 10 years, who was the 5th ranked center by Pro Football Focus last year. Again, is this even a debate? What are we talking about here? It's not even close. No. I love you, Robert Hainsey, but no.
Well, we'll see. There's been a lot of people who are obviously closely connected to the team who believe that they're going to give Hainsey the reins to this at the moment. But that's obviously just preliminary things. You see other bigger reporters, the national guys who have already made note of the fact who's out there, including JC Treader. And obviously they're very locked in as well. So it just, in my mind, I just have to think based on the track record of Jason Licht, he's already on the phone and doing his due diligence on not just Treader, but everybody that's out there. Yeah. Maybe it's on the trade market. I was listening earlier to Tannenbaum, and he said, there's some other teams out there who are rebuilding around the league that have centers like a Cody Whitehair in Chicago that could be kind of expendable, and they could make a trade. And, you probably give up somebody obviously the other way, but it wouldn't be that significant, honestly. Draft pick, who cares, right?
Well, we're not trading for him. Oh, if it was Chicago,
if it was Cody Whitehair, another expendable veteran at a rebuild.
Okay,
team.
not Treader. Oh, yeah,
if it's not Treader.
Absolutely.
So there's other options out there. I have to think he's on the phone already doing the due diligence because, this whole offseason, what has it been? He's had to put a Band-Aid on so many things.
Well, again, this is like, if you want a draft pick, sure, take it.
You can have every draft pick
I'm not giving you a 1.
I won't give you 1. I might not give you a 2, but anything after that, I think is open.
Absolutely. For a veteran guy, yeah. This is such an important position, and it's so different between a rookie and a veteran. So,
and there's probably still time. I don't have the list in front of me, obviously, of who we can void in contracts and all that minutia, but
they can still make. They can
still make room.
Because this is a deal. What did he was on a 3-year, I think $27 million deal. No, Treader. He's coming off a 3-year deal with the Browns that was like 3-year, $27 million. So he's gotten paid.
Yeah,
he's not a guy that's coming off a rookie.
At this point, you're not breaking the bank.
Right. No, this is a 1 year, $5 million,
and it'd probably
1 year, $7 million.
I was about to just say it'd probably be an incentive, done. But like, what's an
snap? How many snaps?
It's not like we're like paying you for touchdowns or whatever. Right. Like Julio's contract.
No, it'll be snaps. How many snaps you play?
Yeah.
So yeah, I look, guys. This is not even a debate, but we'll see where it goes. And again, I'm not saying that Robert Hainsey is a horrible option. I'm just saying when you have a much better option out there, then you take it. And that's what the Bucs have done, especially in this particular situation. I want to say one more thing about the Jensen injury, because we really haven't talked too much about it and saw the video on it. And Logan Hall was the guy that fell on Jensen's leg, and he, Vita Vea and Jensen were locked up, and Hall kind of went to the inside. Stenny shoved him down to the inside and fell on the side of Jensen's leg. Okay, and I'll just be flat honest with you. I was listening to Rick Stroud this morning on DAE when I was driving over to camp, and Rick's take on this was this was absolutely avoidable. Should never have happened. Too much contact, and I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about here. This is, and he's been to more training camps than I have, but this is absolutely part of football. I mean, guys you do your best not to fall over and to fall into guys. And yes, there are rookies that are probably a little bit more aggressive than they should be, but this is a rookie who's, trying to show. I'm not even saying that he's trying to show out and make a play, but you're out there playing football. It's football. And, Stenny, he goes to the inside and Stenny pushes him down and he falls on his leg.
Yeah, I'm watching the play here and I have it blown up so where I can see it clearly. And I have it paused right here and you can kind of see that Logan Hall makes like an inside move. They kind of do like a stunt move where he kind of goes around and inside on Stenny. Stenny, of course, they're not in pads, right? This is just practice. But the natural, inkling is to go obviously push that guy down into the ground.
Stenny's fighting for a starting job.
Stenny's fighting
What's he
for a
supposed
job.
to just let the guy run through the gap and hit the quarterback?
Stenny's fighting for a job. Logan Hall's fighting for a job as well. He's a hungry rookie coming in here with the pedigree. And Ryan Jensen obviously is very close to him right here, but the natural instinct of Aaron Stenny is I got to put this guy down because this is my quarterback. It doesn't matter if it's practice. Right. You're not thinking about that in the moment.
No.
So to me, it's a very bang play, but I will say, it probably, Logan Hall is going in there so hard, like he's trying to actually hit Tom Brady. I'm not saying that's what he was going to do. It just that's the way he kind of is moving at the pace.
This is not this particular drill, and you can run it back. It's not there are certain drills that you're doing out there that are kind of half speed. This is a live 11-on-11 play. And, when you don't have pads on, there are certain protocols that linemen are supposed to kind of, but it's very subjective. You can't turn off your motor completely. At what level do you go? 50, 60, 70%? If you're not going 100%, then the coaches are like, what the hell are you doing? So it's interior play. It happens. And to blame Logan Hall for that, I'm sorry. I just can't. I can't go there. It sucks. But it's football. It's football. To say this was completely avoidable, no. I would have to disagree with that. And I certainly wouldn't want to put it in Logan Hall's head that he just, did something wrong. I don't think he did anything wrong. I don't think the other players are looking at Logan Hall going, hey, man, what the hell are you doing? What were you thinking? Now, if he goes through the gap and pancakes Tom Brady, okay. But that's not what happened. That's not what happened here. So I'll just respectfully disagree with that take. But it sucks. It sucks, but it's football. And, I know we're all waiting to hear the official tally on this, but when you look at that particular play and getting hit from the side, that's just, and when you're engaged with somebody else, especially Vita Vea, you're bracing, you're dug in as about as you're cemented in. And that leg wasn't going anywhere except sideways. When a 290-pound man falls on you from the side, it just sucks. That's what I would have to take umbrage with completely avoidable in that particular space.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who share that opinion, though. I'm just kind of reading here.
That Logan Hall.
Yeah, like a lot of people said, it looks like he went like too low. The DL should never go that low in a drill wearing uppers only, is what a lot of people are saying here.
You're getting shoved to the ground. You act like he's playing against another 310-pound man. What are you talking about? If it was him, if he wasn't getting blocked, I would agree with that. You're getting blocked. The guy is shoving you to the ground.
To be honest with you, thought it was a good play. I mean, if we're like I'm just breaking down the play. I thought it was a good play by Logan Hall, if anything.
Yeah,
I mean, he obviously had a really good move to get by Stenny and force Stenny to have to that was probably a penalty, honestly, if it was just like we were actually breaking this down. So if
it's anybody's fault, and it's nobody's fault, but I'm going at Aaron Stenny. Why are you pushing the guy down?
It's nobody's fault, but he was beaten so badly on the play that he had to again, it's the instinct. You're just not thinking about it in that moment. Like, we're just in the second day of camp. We're not wearing pads here. We need to be careful. You're thinking, oh my gosh, this guy's just got a really good inside move on me. I have to push him down and kind of grab him.
Yeah, you shouldn't go low.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate, but it happens. It happens. It sucks. The second day of camp. You don't want this to start a string of injuries. We talked about the Ravens last year, who just couldn't. It seemed like every single day of camp last year they had a new injury.
Right.
It just killed them. It really killed them last year. You don't want to see that happen to the Bucs. We've been over it. This is a roster that is not by any means young. They have a lot of elder players in here, a lot of older guys. And you want to make sure the bones are healed and up. And I think that's why we have Tom Brady, Levante David, Mike Evans on a maintenance day today in the first place. I'm sure this is probably no coincidence given what happened yesterday to Ryan Jensen.
Yep.
Maybe this wasn't planned to have all these guys sit, but maybe after yesterday, let's just take it a little easy on the vets here, Yeah. Because you can't afford to lose any of these important guys.
Well, and if you're saying it's completely avoidable, that's how you completely avoid it. Get them out of there. Mm-hmm. But guess what? How do you get ready for the season? It's a delicate balance.
Football.
It's football. Exactly. It's a football thing. And, I think just blaming Logan Hall there is completely, I don't get that whatsoever. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back on the other side. We'll get to some of the sound that we have. Shaq Barrett talked yesterday. That was fun. Who else do we have? Brain farting here. Tristan Wirfs. Oh, I love listening to Tristan Wirfs. And we'll hear from him, and we'll be talking some more Rays as well. We'll get to Kyler Murray. Lots of good stuff coming up on the show. Stay with us. The world economy is in chaos, and mortgage rates are going to go higher in the next few months. Meanwhile, home values are up 24% in some neighborhoods of Tampa Bay. Do not miss this opportunity to refinance your home. Get some much-needed cash to handle skyrocketing inflation and fill up your car. Contact Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. Even if you've recently refinanced, Scott can make the deal work because he charges no lender fees like the big boys do. He will also shop your loan around to dozens of lenders and get the best rates and terms. Let them compete for your business. The big banks charge huge lending fees. Customer service is simply a phone number with endless wait times. Scott is local and will personally take your call. Here's his cell phone number. Tell him JP said you could call. 813-294-7595. Scott's done over 3,000 loans, including many coaches and athletes. He will answer your calls and concerns and give you workable strategies to be smart with your money. Reduce your payments. It's not just what you make, it's what you keep. 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Military veterans, are you struggling with alcoholism or substance abuse? Is it taking a toll on your relationships and your work life? Are you having trouble focusing, constantly anxious? Well, you may not be surprised to know that your fellow military vets have your six. Heroes Mile is a new concept in rehabilitation clinics, veterans helping veterans. At Heroes Mile, we staff our rehab center with fellow veterans who can understand what you're going through. Our mission is to help you heal from issues that only your fellow veterans can truly understand. Located just outside of DeLand, we offer a full range of inpatient and outpatient programs dealing with substance abuse, post-traumatic stress, and military sexual trauma. We choose to serve veterans because we know how complex these issues are. You could choose to fight the battle alone or win the war together. We are the community care provider with the VA and also accept most major insurance. At Heroes Mile Rehabilitation Center, we have your six. Go to heroesmile.com or call 888-VET-NOW-2. That's heroesmile.com or call 888-VET-NOW-2. The health professionals at Bay Area Modern Medical Center want you to know it's time to commit to a new, healthy lifestyle. It's literally a matter of life and death. 42% of Americans are considered obese, and being obese made you 3 times more likely to be hospitalized by COVID. So getting in shape is not just about looking better, it's about living much longer. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, they take a very different approach to primary care. It's personalized preventative medicine. Christopher Lugo and his experienced staff are proactive in looking at your issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle, building up your immune system, not destroying it with poor nutrition and bad habits. So call for an appointment, maybe change your primary care, and get on a journey back to full health and a happy life. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Have you purchased a home in the last 10 years and the stucco was starting to come loose from the upstairs portion? Well, that can cause some serious damage that you can't see until it's too late. Is it becoming an eyesore? Have you contacted the builder and just can't get any relief? That's very common here in Florida. So call the law offices of Christopher Palermo. They can help you. Call 813-221-5636. That's 813-221-5636. He's recovered millions for his clients. The law offices of Christopher Palermo at PalermoPA.com.
Coming back at you.
Now, more with JP on FanStream Sports. It's only just begun.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. So you can see me because I know you all want to see me. Brought to you by Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Also by the Gold and Diamond Source. It's summertime, so maybe you want to get engaged. You've been thinking about getting that rock. Well, where would you go for that ring? Got to go to the Gold and Diamond Source. They have the best prices. They have the best selection. And it's the staff that makes the difference there, folks. They will get you something that's in your budget. They will make you feel very comfortable. You can trust them. They've been around for decades. So you know the cut, the clarity, the carats, all that stuff is going to be spot on. And they have their diamond savings account where your diamond never loses its value. You can come back and upgrade it. And whatever you paid for it, you get that towards a new diamond. If you have any old gold jewelry, they will take it, give you the best price for that. You can do some shopping there or just take the cash. And if you need anything repaired or you want something done and design it just for you, and maybe one of those Wander Franco chains that, you want to put your name on it, your number, whatever, they can do all that for you. You can design it right there. That's the beauty of it. So, think of something great that you want to get your honey and design it.
And remember, unlike our friend Wander Franco, don't leave it in your car.
Yeah. Don't leave $650,000 worth of jewelry in a $60 safe.
Don't do it.
That's a bad idea. They'll tell you that at the Golden Diamond Source. And they'll probably get you a good safe too. So protect those valuables and go get something really, really cool. It's the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Olmington Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. So we're going to get back to the Bucs. We're going to get you the Tristan Wirfs and some of the other sound. And then when they come off the field, the live stuff, we're going to try to get that to you as well. But I want to talk about the Kyler Murray situation. I gotta tell you, this is, been covering this league for over 30 years. Never seen anything like this. And I got a nice little tidbit yesterday at an event I was at by someone who knows Larry Fitzgerald pretty well. Okay. And one of the reasons Larry Fitzgerald, because there was a lot of talk that Larry Fitzgerald was going to come back, right? Remember all that talk? Mm-hmm. He's very loyal to the Cardinals organization. Did he come back?
No.
You want to know why he didn't come back?
Tell me why.
Let's play this out. Look, Kyler Murray can deny this stuff all they want, okay? And you're a clown organization for putting that in a contract, number one. You're a clown organization. And my guess is that was something that this ownership group would love to do. Because that's what they are. They're petty. It's completely unprofessional in many, many ways. And this just is something that is right on brand for them. And stuff doesn't get out unless people want it out. And I'm sure the coaches didn't want it out. I'm sure that the general manager didn't want it out. They now, quote, taking it out of the contract. Like, oh, really? Image is done, bro. And even taking it out of the contract makes you look even more stupid, to be quite honest. But the whole idea of 4 hours of study. You know how much Brady studies a week? This is from Jeff Darlington, who knows Brady pretty well. 50 hours. 50 hours of film study a week. And you're putting in the contract that he has to do at least, and that's not independent study, by the way. Okay, because this was independent study. How much does Brady study away from the facility? you want to put a number on him, he's at the facility almost 24/7 during the season. I'd probably say close to 20, 25 hours of independent study. You're talking about 4 hours of study, and you're specifically putting in there not while you're playing video games. Like, how are they even going to enforce that? It's so stupid across the board.
I tell you what, though,
you're going to add something.
What's funny about all this, and Kyler Murray, and we'll play the sound in a second, he continues to deny all this. And the Cardinals are doing it as well. It's not that big of a deal. I have the quote pulled up, and this is from Kyler Murray. New York Times did a profile on him in December of 2021. So 8 months ago.
Right.
This was his quote. I think I was blessed with the cognitive skills to just go out there and just see it before it happens. I'm not one of those guys that's going to sit there and kill myself watching film. I don't sit there for 24 hours and break down this team and that team and watch every game because in my head, I see so much. That was Kyler Murray 8 months ago, admitting that he does not watch that much film. And clearly,
that's brilliant. Great fun.
Clearly, if 4 hours was included in the contract, that would tell me that he's not even watching it for 4 hours. So again, your words matter. Everything you say matter, and you could say the wrong thing, but I have it right there from a very credible source. That's your quote 8 months ago. It's a
New
very
York
credible
Times
source.
They've actually been known to make up quotes.
Okay, well,
for some very important things, by the way.
Well, I'm in the sports section.
In the sports section, I don't think they've ever had a sports reporter, as far as I know, make up quotes.
Yes.
But
I'm in the sports section here.
Yes.
So when people say it's disrespectful to question his film study habits, as he said yesterday,
he's admitting it.
He admitted it 8 months ago, and that's that. And just don't go ducking. Don't go ducking when the media starts poking at you. That's what, by the way, welcome to be a quarterback in the National Football League.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Scrutiny.
Welcome to making $50 million a year to play quarterback. There's
going to be some accountability with that money.
Comes with it. And you need to be able to be a big boy and handle it.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's handling it well.
Well, let's listen. And by the way, from a way that was described, this was impromptu press conference because he wanted to. So what that tells me is the organization wasn't setting him up to go out and talk to the media. Okay. And these things are very planned. As far as when, Brady comes out, what day he's going to talk, et cetera, et cetera. So Kyler Murray just wanted to go out and defend himself. And this is what he said.
Today, I'm talking today because, I feel it's necessary, with what's going on as far as regarding me and the things that are being said about me. It's almost, to think that I can accomplish everything that I've accomplished in my career and not be a student of the game and not have that passion and not take this serious is almost, it's disrespectful, and it's almost a joke, it's, to me, it's I'm flattered, I'm honestly flattered that y'all think that at my size I can go out there and not prepare for the game and not
but you see so much,
not take it serious. It's disrespectful, I feel like, to my peers, to all the great athletes and great players that are in this league.
That study film,
this game's too hard.
I don't need
to play the position that I play in this league. It's too hard, and I don't do this often. I don't talk about myself, but today I feel like I have to, and so I'm gonna list the accolades. To go 43-0 in high school in Texas. Some are gonna say, "Oh, it's high school. That's cool," but nobody else has done it. Go to college, win the Heisman, get drafted number 1 overall to the NFL, get drafted number 9 overall to MLB. Again, no one's ever done it. Offensive Rookie of the Year, 2-time Pro Bowler. And I'm not 6'7", 230. I don't throw the ball 85 yards. I'm already behind the 8 ball, and I can't afford to take any shortcuts. No pun intended. But those things you can't accomplish if you don't take the game serious, if you don't prepare the right way. And it's like I said, it's laughable. But to the film side of things, there's multiple different ways to watch film. There's many different ways to process the game. There's many different ways quarterbacks learn the game and break the game down. Of course, I watch film by myself. That's a given. That doesn't even need to be said. But I do enjoy and love the process of watching the game with my guys, the quarterbacks, my coaches. and I think you can ask any quarterback around the league. The camaraderie in that room, the passion that goes into it. Every man in that room has a job. Every man contributes in different ways. And like I said, I think every player that has played the game, no matter the position, understands what I'm saying right now, as far as everybody in your perspective or your room having a job and contributing. So again, reiterate that there's multiple different ways to watch film, and of course we all watch film. Let's not that doesn't need to be questioned. But it's again, I refuse to let my work ethic, my preparation be in question. I've put an incomprehensible amount of time and blood, sweat, tears, and work into what I do, whether it's football or baseball. People can't even comprehend the amount of time that it takes to do two sports at a high level in college. Let alone do it. Be the first person to do it ever at my size. It's like I said, this is it's funny, but to those of you out there that believe that I'd be standing here today in front of y'all without having a work ethic and without preparing, I'm honored that you think that, but it doesn't exist. It's not possible. It's not possible. So that's all I have on that. If y'all want to talk about football or anything else.
Wow. And by the way, I doing a little bit of study last night. I came across this opinion piece in the USA Today. Kyler Murray's study clause represents double standard black athletes face. Look, when it comes to the quarterback situation, that is always that historically has been an issue. There's no question about that. But as we have moved into the modern day football of the last, I would say 10 years, and there are still instances of this. I mean, how Deshaun Watson fell so far in the draft still mystifies me. There's still some residue of it. This though is a direct result of his lack of preparation. That is, I'm sorry, this clause in this contract just absolutely reinforces everything that we've heard about Kyler Murray. He's a tremendous athlete. He's unbelievable on the field. As a credit, he's one of my favorite guys to watch. I've always been a huge Kyler Murray fan. I've talked very highly of him. But when you break it down, the sulking, we've seen this on the sideline. The thing I heard last night from Larry Fitzgerald, this is pretty much well known that Kyler is not. He said it himself. For God's sakes, look at the quote in the New York Times. And you know what? He doesn't. His accolades certainly are worthy of a guy who knows how to get it done. So if you're doing it that way and you're not studying, yeah, you know what? I don't think he needs to study as much as Tom Brady. Because Brady doesn't have 1/10 the athleticism that he has. So that's why Brady studies so much. Everybody gets it done a different way. I don't think it's such a horrible indictment on him that he's not studying 24/7. Some players, some players don't do that. White guys, black guys, doesn't matter their color. They have different ways to prep. The results have been pretty damn good. But if an organization feels like they have to put that in the contract, those are the people that work with him on a daily basis. That just didn't occur out of thin air. Come on. So, look, it's not a racist thing. And for Kyler Murray, look, he's got to mature. There's no question about it. He's got to mature into being a much better professional than he has been. And when he gets to that point, which we saw with Leonard Fournette a couple of years ago, certain guys take longer to get it, what it takes to be a true professional in this league. It doesn't matter your color, by the way. It just is. And to me, the biggest problem here is on the organization and ownership and whoever wanted to put this in the contract and then it leak out. Those are the people that are in the wrong here, not Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray.
Yeah, it's all it is. They got pushback from it in the media and from people everywhere, and they said, all right, we might as well take it out of here now. Maybe we were wrong. And to me, but again, you've already showed your hand of how you feel about this whole situation.
Yes.
And, listen, Kyler Murray, is he an exceptional talent? No doubt about it. I mean, he listed off everything he's done in his career. I'm respectful of that. I got it, and being a short guy like that, even more impressive, Last year, he looked like the MVP of the league for about the first 8 weeks and I know he had an injury in there and it kind of changed things a little bit. But I don't know. I have a sour taste in my mouth over the way the season ended for them and the subtle observations that veterans of the game made in that playoff game. You're getting your ass kicked and he's just kind of, sulking
by himself.
Yeah. And it doesn't come off as a leader. He doesn't. And, then the whole thing at the beginning of the offseason, the badly worded letter or whatever it was that his agent put out.
The scrubbing of the social media.
Media. It's those things that don't sit well with me. And when you're a quarterback, I look at other examples of quarterbacks around his age. Would Dak Prescott ever do any of that?
No.
Dak Prescott plays in probably the hardest place to play in the NFL.
Yep. Scrutiny. Star in the helmet.
Talk about scrutiny.
Yep.
And that guy's always so well spoken.
Teammates rave about him.
Rave about him. He never, I understand.
Like Lamar Jackson. They rave about him.
Yeah. Dak Prescott has to deal with so much playing in Dallas. Everything he does is scrutinized. And I feel like he's always handled it with class and like a true quarterback. And that's why that guy got $40 million, right? Well, I know it took a little bit of time, whatever.
Yeah.
But to me, I think I would have zero problem giving him $40 million like Jerry Jones did.
Of course.
Another guy who kind of comes off like that. And I know this is a hot take. It's my hot take of the day. I'm more comfortable giving $40 million a year to Jalen Hurts than I would have been giving it to Kyler Murray.
Oh, I agree with that.
I'm not 100%. Even kidding. I know and I don't understand where the Jalen Hurts hate comes from, that we have to move on from this guy. Last year to me was his rookie year.
Yeah.
I consider it his rookie year.
Yeah.
And he went to the playoffs with a roster that wasn't that great.
That's right.
And I think they're going to be a damn better team this year, given what they added. And I think everywhere that guy's gone, being in Alabama, the Saban way, going to Oklahoma then and carrying them to really good height after Kyler Murray had left it in a good spot for him. I'm a big believer in Jalen Hurts more than I am of Kyler Murray. I truly believe that.
And that's because of his professionalism, right? And
I do. And I think
he's a
talent,
winner.
and I think the talent matches up to it as well, more so than other people may think.
I think he needs to develop more as a passer.
No doubt about it.
But everybody comes into this league and needs to develop in certain ways with their weaknesses. And, Lamar Jackson, he has developed into what I would call a very good passer.
They just showed the stat this morning. Since the last 3 seasons, most games in the NFL with a 90 QBR or more, Lamar Jackson has 9. The next highest is Brady with 6.
Yeah. And the other stat that I saw the other day is his fourth quarter comebacks and his quarterback rating in the fourth quarter. It was second in the league.
Yep.
So that guy whoever anonymous was, and maybe there was no such quote that was just brought up to whatever. That he, if he has to throw, they're going to lose. That is, that when he first came into the league, that might have been an accurate perception. Not now.
And even now with the whole contract dispute that he's in with the Ravens, he's still going about it the right way.
Yeah.
He's there at practice. He's involved.
We'll play his sound.
Yeah, he's involved. He's at practice. He's not holding out. He's not sitting out. He said, I have no problem going into this year without the contract. I'll just get the money next year.
Do you think that clause is going to be in Lamar Jackson's contract?
No. And Lamar Jackson.
There's no reason for it. But he's a black quarterback, so he'll be treated that way, according to USA Today. No, sorry.
I think a lot of Lamar
doesn't matter about your skin. It's who you are.
Well, I'll tell you this. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I think the stigma of that, though, definitely played a part in what happened at that 2018 draft.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I will always go to my soapbox.
Not because I wouldn't say it's a racial thing. He was not a polished passer in college.
Okay, but here's my thing. Here's my counter to that. I
still would have drafted him higher than that.
I'll always go in my soapbox. I watched the 3 or 4 years that Josh Rosen played in college.
Oh my God.
And all I heard was generational. This guy's going to tear up college football. UCLA's going to new heights.
Yeah.
I never saw it in college.
Zero.
I know y'all didn't hear me on any show saying it, but I knew it. This guy did not have it in college.
Yeah.
And you know why he got drafted 9th overall, 10th overall? Because he was a big white quarterback that just had the tools.
Yeah, the big arm.
The big arm.
The big arm.
The big tool.
Yeah.
It looks like a quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot to that.
Watch
Josh
no
question
Rosen,
about that.
And then watch Lamar Jackson in college. Tell me which one you want on your NFL team.
Yeah, I was like, are you kidding me? Like when Lamar Jackson fell in the draft, I was like, this is absolutely bananas.
I think in that case, the stigma would play a part in it.
I would agree with that. But I also think that, the number one thing in the NFL is, and by the way, Lamar Jackson was drafted in the transition period between the NFL being a drop back quarterback league to where it's going more towards college quarterbacks that can move, right? So that's number one.
I think he might have changed the whole game on that.
Oh, I think he did. Oh, I don't think there's any question about that. But I was talking about that 5 years before the transition happened. I'm saying the NFL is going to migrate from being drop back passing league to these guys that can run the RPOs because first of all, we're not training drop back quarterbacks anymore in college. So where are you going to find them? How are you going to develop them? So that's number one. And number two, this is where the league is going because of the different rule changes. You can have running quarterbacks now because the quarterbacks are not allowed to get hit. When you back in the day of Bobby Douglas and the Bears, some of these great running quarterbacks, running quarterbacks never survived because they get the shit knocked out of them. You could hit them up high, you could hit them everywhere. They're not going to survive. Now these guys can run around, and Kyler Murray's the best slider in the game because he's a baseball player. They can run around, slide, never get hit, do what the hell they want. It's changed the game. Why would you have a drop back guy that can't run these days? That's crazy, unless his name is Tom Brady and he could read the field like that. And those guys are very, very hard to find, and they're very, very hard to develop. So, yes, the game is definitely migrating that way. And when Lamar Jackson fell to the last pick of the first round, I'm like, this is ridiculous. This guy is going to be a tremendous quarterback in this league. You watch. But he was not a refined passer.
No.
And as he has improved dramatically, you go watch the tape of him in college. And watch his accuracy. Watch the way he threw the ball. His elbow was in a bad spot. When he got with professional coaching and 24/7, 365 coaching, not having to worry about schooling it, he was going to improve. And the skills were off the charts. And look what's happened. He's become a very good. Is he the best passer in the game? No, he's not. But he's got a lot of other intangibles that make him one of the best quarterbacks in the game. And he's going to get his money. The whole negotiation and doesn't have an agent and all that stuff. I would say in the next week, he's going to get his money. The deal should be done.
It's going to happen. If Kyler Murray,
he's not going to play this season without a contract.
If Kyler Murray got his money and Lamar Jackson doesn't, then something's wrong with this world because Lamar Jackson walked so Kyler Murray could run. Let's be honest here.
Yeah.
I think honestly, the success that Lamar Jackson had, I think that might have helped Kyler Murray get to that. I mean, Cliff Kingsbury going to Arizona didn't hurt either.
Yeah.
But I just think that the way Lamar Jackson came into this league, has helped the other quarterbacks. I mean, it made it to where people are comfortable taking Trey Lance third overall.
Right.
And Justin Fields, guys who 10 years ago probably wouldn't have gotten a look anywhere near there.
Because the game has changed.
Because the game's changed.
Yeah.
It's the reason why this quarterback class, Kenny Pickett was seen as the number one guy, and he went 20, which to my opinion is I thought that was too high for him. But to me, he looks like a little I don't know. I mean, do you think Kenny Pickett's going to be successful? I don't know. He doesn't look like that where the NFL's going. I know he's got some hidden athleticism to him.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. But I don't think the game's going towards that type of quarterback.
And I'm not saying you have to be a runner like Lamar or Kyler. Those guys are super special.
No, I think
you have to be adequate in run pass option.
Yeah.
You have to be. You can't run, a 5.3 40 anymore and play quarterback in the NFL unless you're just the second coming of Tom Brady.
Look at the best quarterback. We just mentioned those two guys. I mean, obviously Joe Burrow are we gonna mistake him for some athletic beast running the ball?
He can move.
But he can move.
He can move.
Josh Allen's a freaking freak.
Yeah,
you want to talk about
the
best blend of all of it? It's Josh Allen.
Yeah.
God, look at Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
For crying out loud.
Yeah.
Look at Justin Herbert. He can move. A lot of these quarterbacks Russell Wilson has always been able to move. Dak Prescott can move.
Yes.
You need to be able to move.
You got to be able to move unless you're Tom Brady.
By the way, I'm going to say that. That's just amazing that Tom Brady's still doing it, by the way.
Yeah.
45 years old in a league where you have to be able to move.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, he's moved a lot more at least recently than he was.
Well, last year he was able to move better because his knee, he didn't have a torn PCL or whatever that MCL, strained MCL. So, but he can, but he can't escape like those guys can. And
he escapes in a different way.
He escapes by getting rid of the ball. That's because he knows where the ball is going before the ball is snapped. He knows exactly where it's going and where it has to be delivered. And that's why he had the least sacks in the game. The offensive line was really, really good last year. No question about it. But the reason they had the few sacks is because he gets rid of the ball. He's not going to get hit. It's going to cost him a few completions, but it's going to keep him healthy. So, yeah. Who's that?
Golly, man. I'm just flipping through Twitter here and I saw a picture of Derrick Henry at camp. My God.
He's a big man.
Look at those arms.
He's huge.
Is he bigger?
Who the hell wants to tackle that guy?
I swear he's bigger.
He might be a little bit more cut, actually.
More cut, but look at those.
He big man.
I don't know why I'm flaunting over another man's arms, but I am.
I can see that. You're blushing too. All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back on the other side. We'll give you an update what's going on at Bucs camp. They're done for the day. Rest day for Tom Brady. So for all you folks that were out there to see Brady, I'm so sorry. We'll talk about that. Get some sound from Todd Bowles and also Tristan Murphs and Jack Barrett. Stay with us. Cryptocurrency is all the rage today. The market cap for the industry is now over $1 trillion. And you read about people making millions of dollars, right? You want to get in, but have no idea what to do? Or maybe you dabbled a bit and you want to unlock the real money-making opportunities and don't know how to do it. There are over 10,000 tokens and thousands of decentralized finance exchanges to navigate. So what do? You go to DeFiLava.com. The folks at DeFiLava.com are in Tampa Bay, and they work with you directly to set up custom accounts, answer all your questions, and provide market analysis. Decentralized finance and cryptocurrencies are here to stay and will change the financial markets as we know them. Get in the game. Get with the experts at DeFiLava.com and tell them JP sent you and get their free 2022 crypto market forecast today at DeFiLava.com. Don't get left behind, folks. Make some money at DeFiLava.com. The health professionals at Bay Area Modern Medical Center want you to know it's time to commit to a new healthy lifestyle. It's literally a matter of life and death. 42% of Americans are considered obese, and being obese made you 3 times more likely to be hospitalized by COVID. So getting in shape is not just about looking better, it's about living much longer. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, they take a very different approach to primary care. It's personalized, preventative medicine. Christopher Lugo and his experienced staff are proactive in looking at your issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle, building up your immune system, not destroying it with poor nutrition and bad habits. So call for an appointment, maybe change your primary care, and get on a journey back to full health and a happy life. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Italiano Insurance has been serving and working in our community for over 60 years, and it's not just about insuring all the pieces of your life. Italiano is as much a part of Tampa Bay as the Cuban sandwich, Gasparilla, and our Bucs, Lightning, and Rays. They're also active supporters of great charities like the Humane Society, Metropolitan Ministries, and local pediatric cancer centers. Hey, we all need insurance, so do business with a local company with a commitment to our community. Don't call some 1-800 number. Call Italiano and be greeted by one of your neighbors. That's 813-877-7799 or ItalianoInsurance.com. Named the Small Business of the Year by the Tampa Chamber. 813-877-7799.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show with JP on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by Heroes Mile, veterans helping veterans in the rehab process. If you've been struggling and you're a veteran and you're coming back from overseas, Heroes Mile is the place to check out. These folks have got it figured out, and these are veterans helping veterans. So go to heroesmile.com and get more information. They with the VA. Also work with major insurance companies. So if you're struggling, this is a place that's having great success helping out fellow veterans. Heroesmile.com. All right, Todd Bowles has given an update on Ryan Jensen, and it is not good. So let's head on out to Bucs camp and get the latest from the head coach.
Played it, it'd be a tough battle going in. Both are very smart, both are very tough. So better happen now than the middle of the season so these guys can get some practice reps and prepare for it. And, I think either one of them will be fine.
Coach, how has he improved? How has Hainsey improved in the last year?
How's Hainsey improved in the last year?
His film study is outstanding. He's been a tough guy. He comes from Notre Dame. He's very smart. He can see defenses. He can help the quarterback that way. He can help the offensive line. He's diligent about it, and he wants to be good. There's not a day he doesn't come in and watch tape. So it's just a matter of putting it on tape and getting a chance to play. There's been discussions, but not heavy discussions. We'll see what's out there and we'll see what fits us. If we need to bring somebody in, we will.
Don, I know you go over this all the time about, when you're not in pads, what you can and can't do. You've seen the play now. What's the takeaway from how that happened yesterday?
Well, the 4-man rush, it wasn't anything severe. It's just a fluke thing that happened. It was part of football. It's unfortunate that it happened. It could have happened anytime, anywhere. And, we feel bad for Ryan. Obviously, it's a big loss when you lose an all-pro center. But there's a chance for other guys to step up. And if it's going to happen, it happened early enough to where we can get some guys ready and we can adjust.
With the
nobody to blame.
In Everton, Godwin, Julio, Gage, you potentially have 4 receivers that wouldn't necessarily play on special teams. I know you're used to getting teams' help from your depth of receiver. What's the easiest way to offset or to make up for that?
Well, we keep quite a few receivers, we keep quite a few receivers. You offset that with maybe the tight ends, the inside backers, the outside backers, and the DBs, and maybe a running back or two. So it's not always every position that's a team's player. And our 5th and 6th receiver will play teams anyway. So you'll always have 2. You hardly ever get 3 to play teams as a receiver.
We saw Gage kind of in the mix on punt returns. Is that in play as well?
Just looking at options right now, in case things happen. We've kind of moved guys around a lot and see who can go in there and pinch and do things. So you'll see a lot of people doing things they don't normally do.
How are Keanu Neal and Logan Ryan getting acclimated defensively?
I think they fit in great. Both are highly intelligent, truly professional, and they can play. They help the younger guys with the calls. They're very studious. They prepare their bodies well, and they're great additions for us.
The guys who are battling for those final receiver spots, the 5th, 6th, and 7th, playing special teams would be a prerequisite for those guys. Is that accurate?
They're going to have to be able to do both, yes. They're going to have to be able to do both. And once the pads go on and the preseason games come, we'll see what shakes out.
You see more from Julio today. I know yesterday you had some early observations of him, but just your thoughts on what he looked like in day 2.
They haven't changed. He's just getting caught up to the system. So you can only put him in there doing certain things. But excited about what he did yesterday. Very happy about what he did today. Got to catch him up to the system and make sure he's in camp shape. He wasn't in any program as far as team-wise the past couple of weeks. So we try to monitor that situation as well.
Is he in camp shape, would you say? Again, I know it's hard when you're not working out with
I don't think anyone's in camp shape. Sometimes you work out at these things in the off season. You work out indoors. So the Tampa Heat and getting in camp shape, that'll come in about a week or so.
The day off for Tom, what did you see from Kyle Strasburg a little more right there?
Just decisiveness for the most part, knowing where to go with the ball, comfortable in the huddle, commanding the offense was nice for both him and Blaine.
The idea was it's a long season. You can never have too much talent. You can never have too much depth with injuries. Given that philosophy, does it make sense to look for another center that has experience?
It makes sense, but it's got to be the right guy. We just can't sign a center because he has experience. He's got to fit us. He's got to be able to play. And signing Julio was not only for the long haul, it was just as much as doing different things on offense and be able to replace Gronk's catches. Gronk had a lot of catches and showed up in a lot of areas. So we'll approach things a little bit differently since we got a bunch of receivers. But, we're always looking for an offensive lineman. It's just got to be the right guy and it's got to fit. But we got to give the other 2 guys a chance as well.
Antoine Winfield Jr. has been moving around a bit out there. How is his role going to expand this season? I'm sure he's showing you guys a lot that he's ready to be a leader out there.
Wynn's big thing is he understands where his help is now. He's always going to be a playmaker. He's always going to be ready to play. He'll hit. He'll catch the ball. Understand where his help is and taking advantage of situations is what he's really been focusing on, and we're happy where he's at. Thank you.
Todd Bowles, I thought some interesting things there when asked about, and we didn't get the part about Ryan Jensen. They said basically that he's going to be out for a significant amount of time. And right now, the company line is we're going to give these guys a chance because they haven't signed anybody yet. Obviously, Jason Light's doing his due diligence on J.C. Treader. But I thought was interesting that he just said was that it's got to be the right guy and it's got to fit us. Is that kind of alluding to the whole being a player, the player's rep that maybe he wouldn't be a good fit in the locker room. I'm way reading into this, so I'm not casting any aspersions on the organization or Todd Bowles, but that's it. Just kind of tweaked on me. Is that something that would be an issue? Because again, I don't see how you could possibly, when given an option of whether you're going to go with Nick Leverett and Robert Hainsey over a J.C. Tretter, who again was 5th in Pro Football Focus rankings at centers last year. I mean, that's a Pro Bowl level.
Well, to be honest with you, I pulled up the list here of free agent centers because we've only mentioned J.C. Tretter and Matt Paredes. Honestly, unless it's one of thause two guys, there ain't really there's nobody else here that I think is worth going after at all. So I think it's literally either Tretter, Paredes, or it's going to be Hainsey. I mean, Nick Leverett, he said that it's a competition between Hainsey and Leverett, but let's be honest.
Leverett is really small. Comparatively speaking.
Yeah, it's going to be Hainsey.
You look at him out there, you're just kind of like,
Yeah, and the thing here to keep in mind is Ryan Jensen, since he's gotten here, you want to talk making the Bucs a tough team.
Yeah.
And being that enforcer type guy, and he's always in a scrum, sometimes to his detriment when he first got here, and now he's learned how to control it a little bit more. But you've always been known like, man, I probably don't want to mess with the Bucs right there. I don't want to mess with that guy. Right. And that's like Brady's protector.
Yeah.
So I'm looking now on this offensive line. Who's that guy? Because I don't know if Donovan Smith has that mean streak in him like that. Who's going to play that? And I don't really want my left tackle playing that role. Who in the trenches there? I mean, is it Gadecki? Is Gadecki does he have the wherewithal to step in and be that guy right away?
He claims he does.
He talks like it. He sure as hell talks like it. Does Hainsey have that mean streak? We don't know Hainsey that much, honestly. So maybe he does.
Yeah.
I need to see him play in meaningful games to get kind of a scope on. But I'm looking at who's going to replace Ryan Jensen in that role as well, because I think that's something that's been understated, is kind of that role he's brought to making the Bucs a tough team on the line. Yeah,
he's
kind of a goon.
Yeah. I think it is nice to have that guy with an edge, no doubt about it, because he does kind of set the tone for the rest of the offensive line. We're going to play with an edge. We're going to push people around. We're going to listen to Tristan Wirfs here in a little bit, and he is such a mild-mannered guy when you listen to him speak, but you watch him play, he's got a mean streak in him. He's got a mean streak the way he plays. He is physical and takes guys down with an attitude. So he's got that in him. I think he's one of those, flip it on when you go onto the field, super nice guy off the field. But I think he's got some of that in him. But again, that's why you bring in a veteran guy like J.C. Tretter. I think if you think the Bucs are not contemplating that and they think they'd just rather go with Hainsey because he's shown such good stuff. No, I don't think, because think about, does Brady like young players for the most part? No, he likes veterans. He likes working with veterans. This is a guy that you have to depend on every single play to know where that first of all, that shotgun snap's going to be right in your hands. You don't have to worry about it. Who's not going to fold in the moment mentally. And I'm not saying Hainsey will. It's just, we know guys that are experienced what you're going to get. You have no idea what Hainsey's going to be. I don't care what the coaches don't know. The media doesn't know because he hasn't done it. There is no track record for him as a center in the National Football League. And to choose that over a guy who's done it for 10 years, come on. At a high level, no. Again, shocked that he's even out there. Maybe it is because he is the NFLPA president. Maybe that's why he's still out there. But at this point, when you're in a desperate situation, that stuff goes out the window. Sorry, in my opinion. A couple other observations here from Greg Aumann's Twitter today. Joe Tryon-Shoyinka got a tip pass interception today. Jamal Dean dropped an interception, completely on brand. There's this guy out there by the name of Bug Howard, who was a receiver at UNC.
What a name.
And I was watching it. He was running some drills with the tight ends, and I was like, damn, that guy is fluid. Like, he runs really well. And I'm like, oh, because he used to be a wide receiver. But they've got him listed now at 240 pounds. He looks about 240, 245. So that guy, he's a practice squad player, but really looks really good from a pass catching standpoint. Very fluid.
Yeah, it sounds like a Tanner Hudson to me. The Bucs are on the hunt to find more Tanner Hudson.
Yes, absolutely.
To get their preseason wins back up, apparently. But Bug Howard, love the name.
Yeah.
Killer name. bug.
A bug. Yeah, so that's who else got a pick today. It said Kyle Trask looked really good too.
And the other guy that's been dominating camp, and again, how surprised are we? Is Julio Jones.
Yeah,
I think Scott wrote about that yesterday for Pewter Reporter, or somebody did over there, that he's been, the highlight of camp. Just in the one day he was there, it was just noticeable how good he looked. And Richard Sherman too, who obviously was here last year for a cup of coffee. Even he said that Julio looks fluid and looks healthy and looks really good out of his cuts and breaks.
Yeah, that's the thing that I was looking for, is like, where is he as far as, because when, and I've told the story many times, watching him practice in Atlanta, and he would go full go. I mean, he would practice hard because Matt Ryan likes the receivers to go full tilt in practice to get their timing down. And as large as he is and as fast as he is, to come in and out of his breaks and just leave, he would be going up against Robert Alford, and who's about 5'10", 185, 190, and really, really quick and fast. He would leave that. He would get 3-4 yard separation off cuts off of him running routes. And you're talking about a man that was, 6'3", 245. He looks much slimmer now to me. He looks more in the 225, 230 range, because when he was in Atlanta, he was bigger. So I think he's in great shape. What I saw yesterday and today, he looks super fluid. I mean, his gait is smooth. It doesn't look like he has hamstring, and he's got I think 3 screws in his left foot and ankle. It's because he's got foot issues that have kept him off the field as well. So to me, for Julio, it's all about maintenance, keeping him healthy, and getting him to the regular season, because he can help you.
Yeah, and given what he showed so far, just in a day or two, whatever it is, at training camp, and the level that he's competing at, coming off all these injuries with that age, with the pedigree that he's already, accumulated here in the NFL, I mean, signing him is so much more about what he's going to bring to you on the field. I mean, we've talked about the wide receiving room at nauseum here of the competition, but I think for the young guy, seeing a guy like that leading by example and going like that at practice, I mean, it can only have a positive impact, right? It can only force these guys to step up their game and think, like I said, oh shit, the 4 spots now were already taken.
Yeah.
Who's getting the last 2? That's what Julio Jones to me does more than anything. It forces these young guys to step up.
Who's going to be the return guy?
It's interesting. I mean, what was it? Russell Gage has been returning punts too. There's a lot of guys in the mix. Scotty Miller, Jalen. I think if Jalen Darwin's going to make this team, it's got to be as a punt returner.
Yeah, but what we saw last year was just not
bit
good.
Shaky.
Yeah,
but, I mean, to me, that looks like the only route for him to make the team, though. I can't figure out another way to make sense.
No, if he's not the primary return guy. Scotty Miller has done a good job returning punts when he's been available, and now he's not the 4 guy, he's the 5 guy.
I tell you what,
as Bowles said, numbers 5 and number 6, and if you keep a 7th, they're all about special teams. So Scotty Miller going to have to be your primary return guy.
Yeah, it needs to be Jalen Darden, though, because I mean, the reason why the Bucs drafted him, I still think, was to improve their special teams. That's been an area where the Bucs have been lacking, probably more so than any franchise in the history of the NFL. For whatever reason, they have never found a kick returner or a punt returner worth a damn.
And their special teams have not been special. They've not been good.
I mean, special in some other ways.
Yeah, they've been a net minus instead of a plus. Even during the Super Bowl year, I think we were last in kickoff returns and punt.
Oh, it's horrible.
And kick coverage. We were just not good. So that's an area that this team can drastically get better, and hopefully they will. Who's that?
That's Julio.
Julio?
Look at this play right here. This is a good little view from today.
Retweet that so people up high angle. Nice little move, and then a high ball. Nice
high ball goes over. Was that Zion McCollum? I think that was poor Zion McCollum that he went over too.
Yeah, a kid doing a nice job.
He was all over him.
Yeah,
but that's Julio Jones, and that's another thing too. I mean, that's interesting.
See, that's just experience right there.
That's experience right there. I mean, but Julio Jones, the knock on him his entire career, he's never really been great in the red zone. He's never been a touchdown guy. That's always been the knock on him. And, you talk about replacing Gronk's production. It's replacing his production in the red zone.
Right.
Who's going to do it, right? And Mike Evans obviously has already been able to do his. They can package some things to get Chris Godwin his in the red zone. But I want to see if they can get Julio Jones, maybe now with having Brady, who's so good in that area. Maybe Julio Jones starts getting more touchdowns than he ever has.
Yeah. And Kyle Rudolph, by the way, the biggest part of a tight end is that, that catch radius in red zone. And when he was a Pro Bowler, the guy can do it. I saw him make a great one-handed catch today. Kyle Rudolph. I love what I'm seeing from that cat. I really do. I mean, he looks super fluid, looks super fast, has great hands. Not super fast. For a tight end, of all the even the young guys out there, Rudolph looks the most athletic. He's not a clunker at all. And again, I think when you look at him compared to what I've seen from Gronk in practice, Gronk, especially in training camp the last couple times, I mean, he's slow. He's lumbering.
Well, Gronk's just laboring to get through it.
Yeah, exactly. But Kyle Rudolph is definitely showing that he's got the athleticism to get down the field still. There's no question about it. 32, 33 years old. He's still got the athleticism to get down the field. So, all right, we'll take another break. We'll come back on the other side. We're going to get to the Tristan Wirfs audio. Shaq Barrett talked as well. We'll get back to some Rays. We're going to hear the Kevin Cash from last night. I think he's finally starting to get a little perturbed at some of the BS that's going on the field, especially the lack of offense. So we'll get to all that when we return. Stay with us. The world economy is in chaos, and mortgage rates are going to go higher in the next few months. Meanwhile, home values are up 24% in some neighborhoods of Tampa Bay. Do not miss this opportunity to refinance your home, get some much-needed cash to handle skyrocketing inflation, and fill up your car. Contact Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. Even if you've recently refinanced, Scott can make the deal work because he charges no lender fees like the big boys do. He will also shop your loan around to dozens of lenders and get the best rates and terms. Let them compete for your business. The big banks charge huge lending fees. Customer service is simply a phone number with endless wait times. Scott is local and will personally take your call. Here's his cell phone number. Tell him JP said you could call. 813-294-7595. Scott's done over 3,000 loans, including many coaches and athletes. He will answer your calls and concerns and give you workable strategies to be smart with your money. Reduce your payments. It's not just what you make, it's what you keep. 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Military veterans, are you struggling with alcoholism or substance abuse? Is it taking a toll on your relationships and your work life? Are you having trouble focusing? Constantly anxious? Well, you may not be surprised to know that your fellow military vets have your six. Heroes Mile is a new concept in rehabilitation clinics, veterans helping veterans. At Heroes Mile, we staff our rehab center with fellow veterans who can understand what you're going through. Our mission is to help you heal from issues that only your fellow veterans can truly understand. Located just outside of DeLand, we offer a full range of inpatient and outpatient programs dealing with substance abuse, post-traumatic stress, and military sexual trauma. We choose to serve veterans because we know how complex these issues are. You could choose to fight the battle alone or win the war together. We are the community care provider with the VA and also accept most major insurance. At Heroes Mile Rehabilitation Center, we have your six. Go to heroesmile.com or call 888-VET-NOW-2. That's heroesmile.com or call 888-VET-NOW-2. Have you purchased a home in the last 10 years and the stucco is starting to come loose from the upstairs portion? Well, that caused some serious damage that you can't see until it's too late. Is it becoming an eyesore? Have you contacted the builder and just can't get any relief? That's very common here in Florida. So call the law offices of Christopher Palermo. They can help you. Call 813-221-5636. That's 813-221-5636. He's recovered millions for his clients. The law offices of Christopher Palermo at PalermoPA.com. The health professionals at Bay Area Modern Medical Center want you to know it's time to commit to a new healthy lifestyle. It's literally a matter of life and death. 42% of Americans are considered obese, and being obese made you 3 times more likely to be hospitalized by COVID. So getting in shape is not just about looking better, it's about living much longer. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, they take a very different approach to primary care. It's personalized, preventative medicine. Christopher Lugo and his experienced staff are proactive in looking at your issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle. building up your immune system, not destroying it with poor nutrition and bad habits. So call for an appointment, maybe change your primary care, and get on a journey back to full health and a happy life. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's rock. This is FanStream Sports with JP.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Christopher Lugo and his team over there will get you right, get your immune system where it needs to be, because you don't want to get that monkeypox. And if you've gotten a COVID diagnosis or you've tested positive, do not listen to your doctor that says there's nothing we can do for you. Like my friend told me the other day, he was told at the emergency room, there is plenty they can do for you. And they've been treating COVID patients with great success at Bay Area Modern Medical Center. So if you get a COVID diagnosis, go to BAMMC.com and Christopher Lugo will take great care of you. Make sure you don't get sick and don't get hospitalized. That will not happen if you get to him within 3 to 5 days of symptoms. They have great protocols and great treatments now, and they will get you right. So no need to worry about that when you have BAMMC there for you. And also, if you need some testosterone replacement therapy, which many of us do, everybody out there does if over 30 years old, if you're a man, because of the food supply in our environment in general has immense testosterone's down like 20 to 30% over the last 20 years across the board. So it's something that many of us need and can be a great benefit to you. And they do it great at Bay Area Modern Medical Center. So go to BAMMC.com, get a personalized plan just for you, for your health, your weight, your immune system. It's BAMMC.com. All right, I want to switch gears to the Rays a little bit. Another loss yesterday to the Orioles, 3-0. An anemic offensive output yesterday. 4 singles, left 10 men on base. 2 guys on in 4 different innings, run scoring position. They're just decimated with injuries, but the lineup they're putting out there these days, and yesterday sitting Yandy Diaz and Randy Arozarena, who had the gall to hit a 2-run double to win the game the night before. You know, that's what's going to get your ass sat on the bench. When we're trying to tank and you're out there hitting wall balls in your innings, that's just not going to be acceptable. So they sat his ass down yesterday. I say it tongue in cheek, but it might be true. You never know. Maybe the owner doesn't want to spend any money at the deadline. Maybe doesn't want to be forced to do that. So just maybe. Inquiring minds want to know.
You know what's funny about that? It's like I mentioned the bottom half of the order yesterday, and I just looked at the box score to double check my things. And you know what I said yesterday?
Nobody
I said
after the 5-hole got a hit.
Let me tell you this.
Or the 4-hole.
Yeah, I said the 5 through 9 yesterday in the lineup.
You did.
Was probably the worst 5 through 9 in the MLB that you're going to see yesterday. And listen to this: Josh Lowe had a hit and a strikeout. Roman Quinn, a strikeout, no hits. Brett Phillips, he lasted 5 innings before Randy was put back in. The 3 of them combined for 3 strikeouts. Taylor Walls, 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts. Renee Pinto, 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts. That's 9 strikeouts, 5 through 9 in your order.
Ooh.
It's not giving you a chance.
No, you got no shot.
It's not giving you a chance.
No shot.
In a day where Ryan Yarbrough pitched damn well.
He
if
did.
Ryan Yarbrough puts together that line,
yeah,
I'm saying, okay, the Rays probably won that game. But alas, no, they did not win the game. And Ryan Yarbrough, if you can believe it, is 0-6 this season in 11 games. He can't buy a victory to save his life.
No, he was really good.
Even when he pitches a damn good game. And the Rays offense, it's just anemic. It's lifeless. There's nothing to get excited about. These games are hard to watch with some of these guys in there right now. You know, I'm looking out ahead of the schedule tonight. You know who the Rays face? You mentioned it. The Rays, it's not like they're facing the greatest pitchers in baseball right now. Well, guess who they're facing tonight?
Who?
Shane Bieber.
Uh-oh.
Cy Young winner.
Oh, no hit alert. No hit alert.
So there you go. But I mean, it should be good tonight. Of note, by the way, they're back at home. This is the first game where we're going to have the flash sale.
The $15 tickets, yeah.
So we should have a nice full trop tonight.
Yeah, I'll be looking. Note. Yeah, and kids eat free now.
And kids eat free.
I don't know what the specifics are.
We're not starving them like the Red Sox are. Damn.
That was funny when they put up the banner, kids eat free when the Red Sox win.
Not much right
now. You ain't winning. They're all dying over there. But obviously the play that is completely symbolic of this road trip and the way the Rays are playing right now. It's a 1-0 game in the 8th, and it's still very much a baseball game. When Trey Mancini, who had just the previous, I think, changeover, gotten a rousing round of applause from his from the Oriole faithful, probably his last at bat before they go on the road in the trade deadline, and he could be traded. Please go to the Rays. He lofts a fly ball to right field and immediately throws his bat down because he knows it's a pop-up. But there's our man, Josh Lowe. Hey, look, it's a day game. He's got his sunglasses on. Oh, but they're on top of his head, and they're not on his eyes. And this is what happens.
Fly ball into right. Lowe going back, and that ball, he lost it.
Played a factor right there.
Off
Not
his
wearing
face.
The sunglasses, losing it in the sun possibly. There you see it. Gray's actually the sun.
He loses it in the sun. As you can see the replay, the glasses are on top of his hat and not on his eyes. Hits him in the face. At least he was playing it well. And it Karam's like 40 feet away.
Yeah.
So that Trey Mancini, who was like, walking coming out of the box because he knew it was a pop-up, and he has to start running and circles the bases and gets it inside the park home run on his what could be his final at bat at Camden Yards. That's pretty. The baseball gods, I'm going to give you one for that.
Though, in many ways, it sums up the season of Josh Lowe right now.
It really does.
It really does. And
that happens, by the way. People are like ripping on the guy. If you've ever played outfield and lost the ball in the sun, which I have, it's a terrifying feeling.
It's just a bad look because
it's a terrifying feeling.
That's what they make sunglasses for.
Well, even truth be told, even if you have sunglasses on and you're looking directly into the sun, you're gonna have trouble.
But I'm just saying though. I mean, he's got his glove pocket in his shoe, trying to find it, and the sunglasses are right on your head.
It's bad. It's a bad look.
Just a bad look.
It's a bad look.
In a 1-0 game in the 8th inning,
it's a bad look.
It's just a bad outcome, and sometimes when things aren't going well for you, the ball seems to find you.
Yeah.
And it seems to just be cursed to find you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it was, but.
You want to hear from Josh on this one?
Yeah. Let's see if that, maybe that thing blows up on his when he's number 18 on the IL. I don't know.
Oh, God, please. The best thing he did was wave off the trainer in that situation. So thank you for that, Josh.
Here was Josh Lowe after.
I can see you already have a bit of a welt on your face. Can you just take us through what happened there?
Kind of a tough guy towards the end, but hadn't really been like that at all. There's a lot of clouds, so you guys see I didn't have sunglasses on, and it had been fine the entire time. The ball's been hit before that. I was fine on seeing them, but that was the first one that really got up there and got in the clouds. I don't even think if I had sunglasses on that would have changed at all. But I went back to the spot where I thought the ball was going to be. Saw it probably the apex, and then when it would come down, I kind of let palms up there for a second, and I didn't see the ball down at all, so it got me pretty good right in the face.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe more importantly, how's your face feel?
I'm just more embarrassed more than anything, but it's all right.
Is that a helpless feeling, when a scary feeling when you don't see it?
It's a very helpless feeling. It's like I said, it's more embarrassing letting the team down for something, but it is what it is. We'll come back tomorrow.
Something that ever happened to you before like that? Probably not.
Not to where it's hit me, but I've definitely lost a few balls in the sun before. So as an outfielder, it's one of the worst feelings.
Offensively, it just seemed like it was a tough day. You guys had a fair amount of opportunities.
Yeah. Credit to their pitchers. Their bullpen's been on a run here for the past little bit. We kind of failed to just put a few big hits together. We had some more good at-bats towards the end, but we just couldn't get that one across. Like I said, their bullpen's been really dominant right now, but we got to find a way to get some runs across.
On the positive side of things, how outstanding was Jarborough today?
He was great. I'm upset that we couldn't get some runs for him, support him there, but yeah, he was really good.
I don't want to bang. We've been harping on Josh Lowe a lot this year.
Yeah,
it's because of what we're seeing on the field. And by no means am I trying to write him off after a 50-game sample size. That's how many games he's played this year.
Mm-hmm.
But the almighty WAR stat, which is what we use to judge players.
Right.
You want to take any guesses at what Josh Lowe's WAR is this year? To 175 at bats, And fielding mattered in all the whole good stuff.
I'll go negative 3.5.
Okay, do something realistic. Nobody has a negative 3.5. Take a guess.
I 0.7.
Lower.
0.2.
Lower.
Negative point.
0.0. As far as everything's been concerned, Josh Lowe hasn't even played this year because his WAR is 0.
Well, it's a good thing we traded Austin Meadows.
Well, I brought up
106
I brought up Austin Meadows, but it's hard to really bring up Austin Meadows right now because the guy hasn't played in so long.
Well, what did he do with the Rays last year? I mean, that's the best comparison because you compare what guys did on your team.
If you want me to put it
because
out
they
there,
put him in his their situation where he flourishes the best. The Rays know him the best. Clearly, the Tigers don't. He's had injuries this year, so we can't really compare this year.
But I'll throw his numbers out here this year though for you. And he only had 128 bats. He hasn't played in a long time. 0 home runs because he's been out for so long. His WAR is still 0.7.
Okay.
In 36 games.
Okay.
So he's still over 0.
He's helping you.
Huh?
He's helping you.
He's helping you a little.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not helping you at all. He's been hurt.
Right.
He's been hurt for so long.
What was his WAR with the Rays last year?
I'm trying to figure that one out. But I don't think he was never really a good WAR player. Let's just put it that way.
He had 106 RBIs. And what is this team struggling with? Getting hits with base run. Yeah. And that's a talent. That's RBI guys get paid because it's a talent. And that's when you get up and you focus in a little bit more and you get the big hits and you bring guys in. That's a talent. And when you trade it away, you better be damn sure that you got guys on your roster that can do the same thing. And clearly, Josh Lowe is not that guy, and not yet anyway, not writing him off. But they didn't replace him with anybody else either. But, so many guys are injured, though. I mean, you can't. It is really hard to criticize the Rays and the makeup of their roster when you got 17 guys on the injured list. They didn't expect this. They didn't expect this, obviously, and nobody can prepare for that. So yeah, it is a little bit unfair. But and Isaac Paredes has been good. He has been really good, no doubt about it. But again, call me when he gets to 106.
Austin Meadows' WAR last year was exactly 2.0, which is what I was going to say.
It's good.
It's not really I'm telling you, he's just a player that analytics aren't just going to love him.
Right.
I'm just that's just a matter of the fact. 2.0 really is not that great, especially for a guy who drove in 106 runs.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. There were reasons why the Rays moved on from Austin Meadows. I don't think I'm really debating that. In fact, when we were in the offseason, I kept saying I think he's a trade candidate. I kept saying that.
Yeah,
but
for
I wasn't a fan though of
because everybody was like, "Well, we need to get Josh Lowe up."
Yeah,
here. I get it.
I wasn't really a fan of that because I thought this team had aspirations up here.
Yeah,
I didn't really want to put my faith in a rookie over the guy that had just driven in 106 runs. I thought return should have been something different. Obviously, different position, but Paredes has been solid for the Rays.
Yeah.
We're not debating that, but whatever. It's in the past. But Josh Lowe, 50-game sample size and all.
No
big
bueno.
Disappointment.
No bueno.
Yesterday, very unfortunate.
Yeah, they're not getting out of him what they thought they would get, regardless of what the rest of the roster is doing. He just hasn't been the guy. And that was a miscalculation. I don't think there's any question about that.
Did you want to hear Mr. Cash yesterday?
I do.
You said he got a little.
He did get a little snippy. The part that I heard.
Snippy Cash.
Yeah, it was salty Cash.
All right, Kevin, want to start with the offense. 10 guys left on base. Do you feel like that was kind of the story of the game for you guys today?
Yeah, we're just not getting it done offensively. The guys know that. They're fully aware. There's a lot of pride in that room to do better. It's just not coming easy right now. We've kind of hit a little bit of a rut. Nice to be going back home. See if we can get out of it playing at our ballpark.
Brian Yarbrough, outstanding today. What did you think of him? 21 first pitch strikes for him. Seemed to get ahead of guys.
Yeah, he was outstanding. Really gave us every opportunity. Happy for Yarb. I know it's been a little bit of a grind here lately, some up down, but that was a really encouraging outing. The strike throwing was excellent, and the stuff was good. You could tell just by there wasn't a lot of hard hit balls. He was giving some good hitters over there, some fits, some long at bats, but the cutter you could tell was really boring in on some of the righties.
And then Josh Lowe there at the end on the inside the park home run to just maybe lose it in the sun with his glasses.
Yeah. I mean, I think Josh would be the first to tell you that it's a ball that should be caught. It's an error. I'm not sure if he lost it or just misplayed it a little bit. But I think it hit off his head. So, you're not going to see that very often. Feel for Josh. Obviously, he wants to make the play behind any pitcher out there.
Kind of to state the obvious, 2-5 to come out of the break when you finish the break. So went into the break on a pretty good roll.
Yeah. So we got to turn it around pretty quickly. I got a feeling we're going to be kind of clumped together here for a while, but we got to do our part to stay clumped together, and 2-5 is not going to get it done.
You had 2 on 4 different times.
Yeah.
I know we talked about the left on base, but probably you had Randy up there twice, probably thinking those.
Yeah. I mean, look, we had probably the right guys up there, but we didn't get it done. And I do think, their pitching, we've talked about their bullpen all year long. Once they hand the ball over to the bullpen, we've seen them be really, really good. And that's kind of a product of not scoring runs.
Just one more question on the offense. It seemed like you've had a couple times over the last couple of weeks where we talked about maybe you were coming at it.
Yeah.
Is it frustrating to kind of regress?
You guys talked about us coming out of it. Let's go with that. But look, we've got to score some more runs. They know that. They're working really hard to make the adjustments. It just feels like it's coming tough for a lot of guys right now. You can withstand 3 or 4 guys, but it feels like it's more than that right now.
Right. And you're also not playing with your full lineup. That's fairly obvious too. So.
These guys they're Rays. Let's find a way to hit.
You're professional baseball players. You got to do better. You got to do better, man.
Here's the thing, though. Like he said, we just have a lot of guys who are all going through it at the same time. I'm just telling you that the guys that are at the bottom of the lineup, they're not MLB players.
That's the truth.
Okay, so I don't know what they're in a rut because they're just not MLB hitters. This is just who they are.
Yeah.
To me, that has what's more to do with it. The 4 guys.
Which is all the more reason in these situations. Why are you resting guys that can hit?
Like I said, the 4 guys in this lineup.
Just like there's no sense of urgency. You're falling out of the wild card, and you're like, let's give Randy and Yanni a day off today.
That's what I'm saying.
Like it's a day game.
Those 4 guys all are doing their part. It's like the rest of the lineup that's not.
They're not old. It's baseball, for God's sakes. It's not like they're going out and playing football. You have a team that can't freaking hit, and you put your 2 best hitters are not even in the lineup. What the hell is that? What is that? Explain. Like, can somebody ask that question? Like, you're struggling to score runs, and your 2 of your best hitters are not in the starting lineup. Are we not allowed to ask any lineup questions at all?
Yeah. Just right here, 3 guys. Just right here. I'm just coming across stats in my face right here. We've been talking about how bad Joey Gallo is for the Yankees.
Yeah.
WRC plus, again, 100 is average. Joey Gallo's is 81. Josh Lowe, 70. Taylor Walls, 58. Brett Phillips, 42. It's so well below average. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
Like the Rays have some of the worst hitters statistically in baseball, all clumped in one lineup right now.
And we're doing nothing about it.
No.
You got one of the best hitters. And a guy you brought up in Aranda that all he did was barrel up the ball while he was here.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can't be doing that, son. Yeah, we're trying to tank here. You're coming up here putting the barrel on the ball. We can't have that. Get your ass back to Durham. What are you thinking, son? Get your ass back to Durham. We don't do that here. Come up here and start hitting the goddamn baseball. We can't have that.
Gotta win.
I'm trying to tank here. You want me to go out at the deadline and spend money? Jiminy Christmas.
Gotta win that independent league championship, JP.
That's right.
Gotta win that independent league championship.
That's right. Rays fans get so excited about that. Oh, it's this prospect had a home run and a double last night. Who cares?
Can I see him here?
Yeah, bring him up. Let's see if he can do something for the big club. I don't think you get points for championships at Durham, as far as last time I checked. All right, we'll take our final break. Quick break. We'll come back and wrap things up. I've been promising a little bit of Tristan Wirfs. I got to kind of get to that, don't we? I like Tristan Wirfs. I like to hear him talk. Stay with us. Italiano Insurance has been serving and working in our community for over 60 years, and it's not just about insuring all the pieces of your life. Italiano is as much a part of Tampa Bay as the Cuban sandwich, Gasparilla, and our Bucs, Lightning, and Rays. They're also active supporters of great charities like the Humane Society, Metropolitan Ministries, and local pediatric cancer centers. Hey, we all need insurance, so do business with a local company with a commitment to our community. Don't call some 1-800 number. Call Italiano and be greeted by one of your neighbors. That's 813-877-7799 or ItalianoInsurance.com. Named the Small Business of the Year by the Tampa Chamber. 813-877-7799. Have you purchased a home in the last 10 years and the stucco is starting to come loose from the upstairs portion? Well, that can cause some serious damage that you can't see until it's too late. Is it becoming an eyesore? Have you contacted the builder and just can't get any relief? That's very common here in Florida. So call the law offices of Christopher Palermo. They can help you. Call 813-221-5636. That's 813-221-5636. He's recovered millions for his clients. The law offices of Christopher Palermo at PalermoPA.com.
Pure sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the Gold and Diamond Source, 3800 Homerton Road. Go get something nice for your sweetie over there. Any budget, whatever you got, go on in there. They'll get you something nice, and the staff will hook you up. It's Gold and Diamond Source, 3800 Homerton Road, and the goldendiamondsource.com. Also brought to you by American Mortgage Services. Scott Fitzgerald, Scotty Fitz, the mortgage guy. They have a great new program at American Mortgage Services. It's a new federal program that targets certain zip codes, certain areas, and you get a mortgage below market rates and below credit scores. Like your credit score can be as low as 640 and still get a mortgage. With this particular program, if you're looking at certain areas, because they're trying to stimulate some investment in some underdeveloped areas. So you get a mortgage that's a lower rate. You don't need high income or income verification to qualify. So find out more about it. There's a lot to it, but it's a great program if you're looking in certain areas. So just hit up Scott at amstampa.com, Scott at amstampa.com. Just send him an email, tell him you're interested in the new program, and he will hit you back right away and find out more about it. Scott at amstampa.com. All right, we got a little Tristan Wirfs queued up. When you look up and down this roster, there's so many guys that are phenomenal football players. This guy is an all-pro in his second season. I think he's given up like 2 sacks in his career. And the numbers are off the charts. I mean, we could be witnessing literally a Hall of Famer in our midst. And I mean, I can't remember an offensive lineman that made all-pro in his second season. I can't remember one. I'm sure there might be one, but I can't remember who it was. So this guy is on an incredible trajectory. He's an unbelievable player, and he's a joy to listen to. So here we go.
How we doing?
How we
Can
doing?
you tell us what happened out there with Ryan Jensen today?
It was just.
I don't really know what happened. I didn't see it. It sucks when a guy goes down. Jensen's a tough cookie. So, I'm gonna go in there and see him in the training room after this. But I wish him the best, and we'll see.
What have you seen from Robert Higgins, who obviously steps in as long as Jensen's out as that center? How have you seen him develop behind the scenes last year and into camp this year?
Oh my gosh, Bob's he's so smart. I think he's one of my best buds on the team. We hang out quite a bit. He was here kind of for half the offseason, then he was in Arizona training with A.Q. Shipley. So he's put in a lot of work. Just trying to be the best that he can be. Kid loves ball. So, I'm excited to see how he does in this. And I think the competition for left guard as well. So it's gonna be fun.
Left guard would be better.
How you getting along with Shaq Mason?
I think me and Shaq are getting along great. We got to have some time together in OTAs and mini camp. And now, just with camp starting, just building that cohesiveness and getting our communication down, because he did stuff a certain way for 8 years and I was doing stuff a certain way for a couple of years. So now just bringing it together and being the best, we can be, hopefully the best right side, out there.
You talk about his time in New England. He had a heck of an O-line coach over there.
Yeah, these Karnecki's incredible. Not a whole lot. I mean, if we ask him about it, like if they how they did something, or if they did something different. But other than that, no, he's I think he really likes our room. I think we have a lot of fun, and I think he fits right in.
He's so quick off the ball.
Yeah.
Right. That, to get your timing down for some of those combo blocks and double teams that you execute with him, has it speeded up your get off as well?
Not necessarily. I don't think I've sped up any. It's just, like you said, in certain of our certain combo blocks, it's just you
to hit stuff at the right time, and you got to know where each other are. So I think it all comes, with reps and playing next to each other. So, but I think we've been pretty good so far, and feel really comfortable together.
The top 7 or 8 offensive line jobs are pretty well set. But in terms of the last spot or two, what have you seen from Fred Johnson so far?
Have you guys seen him up close? He's huge. Fred's so big. But he comes to work every day and grinds. I think he loves to be out there with us. And he, I think the biggest thing is his arms, like having such long arms. Like I keep telling him, like, Fred, just throw your bones, dude. I'm like, you're gonna, like, nobody's gonna be able to touch you even. So I think he's doing awesome. It's fun to have him in the room, but Fred's doing good.
Tristan, what was your reaction when you heard the Bucs signed Julio?
Just it's like we're playing a video game. Just keep, since my rookie year, I just got in the huddle with Tom, Gronk, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Julio Jones. Like, it's just all these guys, Antonio Brown. Like, it's just, there's so many guys that, like, I grew up watching and everything, and that, like, now, like, on the same field as them. So it's just Kyle Rudolph. Like, it's just insane. So it's been, I think it's really cool.
You had a stellar rookie year, and there's a lot of conversation around Luke Gadecki. What have been your impressions on him and what he might bring to the team this season?
Yeah, Luke's an amazing kid. He's older than me. I can't call him a kid. He's such a hard worker. We were here training together this offseason. Strong as an ox. He loves football. Now I think same way I was my rookie year, especially in camp, it's getting that anxiety down that, at first everything's moving a million miles an hour. You're seeing just colors flying by you. Once you kind of take that deep breath, like, okay, it's just football. I'll be all right. And I think he's starting to do that, because I just had some conversations with him, told him, like, hey, like, I know how it feels, just kind of being put in there. I think he's going to do just fine. He's great dude. He's going to be a good player, I think.
That's Tristan Wirfs. Isn't he a joy to listen to? He's just such a nice guy, but such a mean bastard on the field. I mean, he's just seriously, guys. If you want to have some fun, you go look at the All 22. If you can get that on the NFL Network. It's NFL Plus now, and he's phenomenal, and he's nasty and as good as it gets, and a fun guy to listen to. Mike Evans talked today. Let's get a little snippet of that, my friend. I just retweeted him talking about hanging out with Julio Jones. Can you imagine, again, that wide receiver room? And they were all standing together today. Godwin, Gage, Evans, and Julio. It's quite a foursome right there. Mike Evans, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm trying to cue it up here. One sec here.
I just retweeted it.
You retweeted a still photo.
I did?
Yes.
I thought Dan Lucas had a.
I know there's one out here of him talking about Julio. I'm just trying to find it here. But you retweeted me a.
Well, then why is Dan Lucas tweeting that out? A still photo. Like, come on, man.
Because Dan's trying to set you up for failure.
He
That's
did.
why.
He got me.
The Twitter thumbs for you don't really work. So
I criticized. Well, we were having a little fun today out there. He's like, these hangovers are a little bit harder than they used to be when I come out here in the morning. I'm like, yeah, it gets a little hot after a long night at the barrio.
Here, you can get. You know what? Just because we're strapped for time,
Yeah.
I'll give you this video. This is Russell Gage talking about Julio Jones,
Oh,
who
good.
probably knows him just a little bit more.
You are correct, sir.
So here's Russell Gage.
I mean, first off, injuries will hold anybody back, I believe. You could be the greatest ever. I mean, but you're hurt, you're going to be down, you're going to go down a notch. So, I mean, you see him out here, he's healthy, he can roll. He's the same old Julio to me. He's fast, he hasn't missed a beat. That's everyone's number one thing in the NFL is staying healthy. So, the healthy Julio is a problematic Julio, the way I put it. So
That's for damn sure. Yeah, I mean, I haven't even considered the fact that Julio could be, 90% of what he used to be. I mean, if he is like 90% of what he used to be,
I'm right.
Are you kidding me? Like, I'm not even considering that. I'm hoping for 75%. Like 75% of old Julio is literally better than 75% of the receivers in this league. He's that good. And he has been that good. I mean, he was at one point in his career, you couldn't cover him. I mean, especially if you're a Bucs fan, you know that.
He's still productive when he's out there.
Yeah.
And we know that we're always talking about that, if he's out there, he's still productive. I mean, he even was last year. I know he didn't play much with Tennessee, but the games that he was actually healthy and out there, I thought he was still pretty good. There's a difference playing with Tom Brady than Ryan Tannehill as well. Tom Brady's going to find a way to get everybody the ball. So
yeah,
you'll see.
I've had a couple people ask me this, if Ryan Jensen's contract counts towards the cap in 22 since he's injured before the season starts. Yes, absolutely it does. Once those contracts are signed, it doesn't matter if you get hurt before, after, or during the season. It counts towards the cap.
Yeah.
So but again, they can go out and make more cap room as far as I know, if they want to bring in JC Treader. So I think it's fine. I expect that to happen in the next couple of days. We'll see. All right. Our thanks to Nick Geddes. We didn't have any guests today. That's pretty good. I love it. A lot of you folks say you love the show when we have no guests, even though our guests are fantastic. But we got in today, so appreciate you guys listening each and every day. Don't forget to please share our show. Just retweet it. Share it on your Instagram. Share it on your Facebook. We love it when you do that. And just generally help us promote the show. We really appreciate that. We'll be back on Monday when the pads get on. We will be there. So have a great weekend, everybody. Go Rays.